Video update. That 68 Cutlass I painted, and I was working on the hood yet. You know, the rest of the car is done. But the hood was a complete disaster. And you can't really get a hood anywhere. If you can, it's very expensive, so I saved this hood. I did the body work on it. Primed it, I don't know, after Christmas, I think I did. And it's been sitting here in the shop, letting the primer shrink back. I loaded the primer up pretty good because, you know, I mean, let's face it, the body work was a lot of filler and hammering and dollying and everything, you know, so it took a lot of work. I got 35 hours in on this hood. Blocked it out today after the primer shrank back finally. We cleaned out the shop today, and then I just had a bug up my butt and decided, we'll just keep going with the work today. So I blocked it all out. There's a few low spots, not too many, very minor. A couple high spots that I knocked down. So it's pretty even. I'll sand down the filler I put in for the the low spots, and put another good coat of primer on it, let that shrink, and block out one more time. One more piss coat of primer for prep purposes, and then I'll be painting it pretty soon. It's going to be red with the black stripe up the middle, and from like this body line back to where those vents are, just like the Cutlass that was in that Chicago video, Stay the Night. This is kind of what the car is going to kind of look like. But so yeah, so it's pretty even, pretty smooth. You know, you got poking out here and there, but I expected that because, you know, you could block filler until you're blue in the face, and then you prime it and block it. You're always going to have it. You know, you're leveling it off. So it takes a couple times around. Other updates is I have to get started on this thing. This is a pretty easy job. It's a complete, but it's pretty easy. It'll go pretty quickly once I get rolling on it. I'm gonna have a warm enough week this week where I can work out here. Doing the blue, some of the silver on the bottom where it's marred up. It's an 86 Trans Am. So hardest parts, I gotta fix the nose. That's warped. So I'll see what I can do. But it's warped by that turn signal, and it's warped in the center, and you can see it end. So I'm gonna see if I can save it. But there's no rust on this thing at all. It's just clear coat burned off of it. The hood bird's burned off of it from the sun. It's a pretty decent car. Otherwise, sat for a really long time, so it's gonna have issues. But gotta do something with the wing back here because these things are just terrible. They dry rot and crack, and sometimes I take them off and they'll never go back on again because the clips are no good back here by the glass. And not my first rodeo on that though, so I don't know what I could do for the wing itself, but well, I'll give it a try. And there's a couple of little wavy, there's a dent here and there, just small minor stuff, you know, a couple door dings, a couple of dents in the hood, but nothing like that Cutlass was. And I got to get going on this thing. I was supposed to have this in primer already. I haven't even laid a finger on it other than move it, and that's not good. But I got until like May to get that done. That's a complete color change. It's going ruby red. So, but another case of once I get rolling on it, it'll be easy. But I'm taking it all apart. Fenders coming off, rockers are coming off. You know, I'm gonna restore the trim in the middle, or do something with it. I don't know. I can figure that out. Somebody already painted it once before, and you're not supposed to paint that trim, but people did all the time, and it's supposed to be like mine, all black around the center. Same mirror car. But yeah, that's the one I had trouble with last year. It came in, wasn't running right, and I went through the whole fuel injection system, everything. ignition system, and ended up being a computer. But I went through and found a whole bunch of stuff wrong with it, and I put a new computer in it and fixed that. It's still finicky when it wants to start, though. It doesn't want to start sometimes, but I don't know. It's a piece of crap as far as that goes. That car pisses me off, but I'll get it done. Yeah, I'll knock this one out pretty quick. This car, believe it or not, only has about 40,000 miles on it. It's a low mileage car. It sat in the sun its whole life. Interior, some parts are taken apart and sun warpage, but it's pretty straight, other than cracks in the dash, and console lid was all warped. What's mileage on this thing? 45,298. So yeah, one of those for the dealership. So I'll get it turned around, and it's gonna be re-decaled too, which is kind of cool. Gonna put all the new decals on, all new stripes around the two-tone where they got those little horizon stripes down there, or whatever they are, little graphics. It's getting new hood bird and everything, so pretty cool. It's an 86. So, but yeah, that's where we're at now. I'm going to take advantage of all the nice weather I can. We cleaned the shop out today, me and the wife. It was just a disaster in here. I think we filled I don't know how many garbage bags. Yeah. So, every car in here is going to get painted. My Trans Am is going to get repainted someday. Looks good from 10 feet away, but it's 23-year-old paint. It's got some marks on it. Everything's dusty as hell in here. My Vet's getting painted. I want to knock that out while I knock out this other Vet. Take them both apart, and mine's going the stock color, red. It's just, I already got the paint for it and everything. It's just waiting to be done. This one wouldn't need paint, but it's got little issues. Paint chips here and there. It's got a couple dings in it here and there. Just from being a driver. We don't drive it much. We bought that thing 3 years ago, right before COVID hit. And those, the wife traded her Mustang in on it, and we were going to, she was going to drive it, and then COVID hit, and she worked from home for 3 years. So we drive it on nice. These are all nice weather cars, And the Trans Am, we've had that thing for eons, and it's just, it's retired pretty much. It's not. I drive that thing, I don't think even 100 miles a year anymore. Ain't nothing, no reason why. It's just I don't ever fucking drive it. One, I don't like the thing. It's just, it does need some engine work. It's got some valve train noise and shit going on. Typical LS1 crap. That's a shit motor, that LS1. The first generation LS1, I should say. Because the LS in that motor is fine. But it's a better, it's 6.2. This is 5.7. But actually, I would total that, buy it back from the insurance company, pull the motor, rebuild it, and put it in that, the Corvette. That's what I would do to it. Or I'd buy that from the dealership and put an LS in that. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. This has got that 305 tune port in it. It was okay in its day, but these cars are dogs. By today's standards, they're just laughable. Be a good little cruiser though. You know, starts right up and runs. It's old and cranky though. You know, you have to let it warm up. Low miles, but you know, it's still stuff's probably dry rotted out on it and shit, like gaskets, things like that. So it probably could easily be gone through and you know, all that stuff fixed. And like I did my vet when I got that. You know, those tune port systems, they don't age well, even if you don't drive them. Especially if you don't drive them, they don't age well. But, so that's where we're at. Working on getting the shop clean and keep it clean. And I haven't been working out here this year because I'm not running the heat. I refuse to run the heat. Electric rates are way up. Everything's electric out here. And you know, so when it got cold, I just shut it down, and I figured I'd take the winter off. I got a heated cabinet over there to keep paint supplies in. That's the only heat that runs in the shop. But I'm just rambling now, but I gotta go in and eat dinner. It's getting late. So didn't expect to get that done today like that. So I'll be working out here all week. At least a few days. Try to get that pulled apart. Get this one going. I want this one done out of my shop within a couple of weeks. But so, all right, peace.